Hello, hello. How's it going out there, everybody? Welcome back to Living the Creative Act. My name is Folk U Developer, and this is a little fun thing we do every Sunday at 2 p.m. Started a little bit later today at 2:30, but that is okay. Today's section is called Seeds, and I'm pretty excited about it. We're reading pages 143 to 146 from the Creative Act by Rick Rubin, and then talking about it. And of course, afterwards, we'll do a little live coding, since this is a live coding stream after all. So let's hop right on in. In the first phase of the creative process, we are to be completely open, collecting anything we find of interest. We call this the seed phase. We're searching for potential starting points that, with love and care, can grow into something beautiful. At this stage, we are not comparing them to find the best seed. We simply gather them. A seed for a song could be a phrase, a melody, a bass line, or a rhythmic feel. For a written piece, it may be a sentence, a character sketch, a thesis, or a plot point. For a structure, a shape, a material choice, a function, or the natural properties of a location. And for a business, it could be common inconvenience, a societal need, a technical advancement, or a personal interest. Collecting seeds typically doesn't involve a tremendous amount of effort. It's more a receiving of a transmission, a noticing. As if catching fish, we walk to the water, bait the hook, cast the line, and patiently wait. We cannot control the fish, only the presence of our line. The artist casts a line to the universe. We don't get to choose when noticing or inspiration comes. We can only be there to receive it. As with meditation, our engagement in the process is what allows the result. Collecting seeds is best approached with active awareness and boundless curiosity. It cannot be muscled, though perhaps it can be willed. As the seeds arrive, forming conclusions about their value or fate can get in the way of their natural potential. In this phase, the artist's work is to collect seeds, plant them, water them with attention, and see if they take root. Having a specific vision of what a seed will become could serve as a helpful guide in later phases. In this initial stage, it may cut off more interesting possibilities. An idea appearing to hold less vitality may grow into beautiful work. Other times, the most exciting seed may not ultimately yield fruit. It's too soon to tell. Until we are further along in the process, the idea has been developed, it's impossible to assess these germs of an idea accurately. The appropriate seed will reveal itself over time. Placing too much emphasis on a seed or dismissing it prematurely can interfere with its natural growth. The temptation is to insert too much of yourself in this first phase can undermine the entire enterprise. Be wary of taking shortcuts or crossing items off your list too quickly. The seed doesn't get watered, cannot reveal its ability to bear fruit. collect many seeds, and then, over time, look back and see which ones resonate. Sometimes we're too close to them to recognize their true potential. Other times, the magical moment that inspired a seed into existence is bigger than the seed itself. It's generally preferable to accumulate several weeks or months' worth of ideas and then choose which of them to focus on, instead of following an urge or obligation to rush to the finish line with what is in front of us today. The more seeds you've accumulated, the easier this is to judge. If you've collected 100 seeds, you might find that the seed number 54 speaks to you in a way that none of the others do. If number 54 is your only choice, though, without other seeds for context, it's more difficult to tell. When we make assumptions about what seeds won't work or what may not fit in with what we believe to be our artistic identity, we may be prevented from growing as creators. Sometimes the purpose of a seed is to propel us in a completely new direction. Along the way, it may morph into something hardly resembling its original form and become our finest work yet. At this point in time, it's helpful to think of the work as bigger than us, to cultivate a sense of awe and wonder at what's possible, and recognize that this productivity is not generated by our hand alone. This is such a delicious section. Yeah, I love the beginnings of things, and I feel like I've collected so many seeds over time. In fact, you might say that's where the name full queue comes from. I feel like my queue is so full of things to do, and I don't have enough time to get to all of them. But I have gotten some stuff done. Like FQauth, like SPX, like SH. Those projects started as mostly as pain points. Like he talks about examples of seeds, like it could be a melody, a bass line for like a song. The one that I've noticed the most that happens for me is it business? Yeah, it could be an inconvenience, a societal need. For me, it's oftentimes a pain point, is what I notice, and then I start figuring out a way to deal with. That was the inspiration for Underway, my subway app. I really wanted to tap on a station and see when the train's coming in as few taps as possible, and that didn't exist at the time. So I made it. Same thing with SPX. I had been working on just the right way to call command line items from my Swift scripts, and how to organize these scripts into something reusable and easy to use. I took a lot of inspiration from NPX, actually, and I've been using SPX for a very long time to I use it for managing my infrastructure. I use it for publishing to the App Store. I use it for rendering templates of things. I've found it very handy. And of course, it could use even more love. It could continue to grow. I can't wait to hear what comes next. I feel like there's so many exciting things going on in my life right now, and I feel like I'm lucky to have a literal front row seat to it. He says that noticing doesn't take a large amount of effort. Oh, we got a Randy in chat says, Reminds me of Linus Torvalds. He created Linux because of a need he had that other solutions were not solving. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially with FQauth, there wasn't really a usable sample project for signing with Apple. And I was implementing signing with Apple in my apps, and I would have loved to have a working example to start from. He says collecting seeds doesn't typically involve a tremendous amount of effort. I'm definitely torn on that. I feel like it definitely takes practice to notice things. Otherwise, more people would notice things. Or on the other hand, because of each person's unique point of view, they notice things that other people don't. And so what comes easy for them, it's not easy for others. But it definitely does feel like receiving of a transmission of of like getting a telegraph of like, oh, no, did you notice this thing? And for me, it feels like I get so many I can't write them down. I watch so many good ideas float downstream. And I definitely resonate with his analogy here about catching fish. I used to do a lot of fishing in World of Warcraft, where you're just kind of doing the same thing over and over, waiting for that one rare catch. And I feel like a lot of the things I do, it's just like you're kind of doing the same thing and waiting for something to happen, and something might not happen. So far, I feel pretty lucky with my scenery shoots. They're mostly all been really good. But that also feels like fishing. I just I set my camera up and I wait and see what we catch. I'm really happy with the sunset in the one that we're showing today. This is from High Bridge Park up in Washington Heights in Manhattan. Yeah, we can only choose to be present. We can only choose to be open to being tuning in, but it's not a guarantee. He kind of mentioned that in previous chapters. Randy says, that's interesting, seeing what we catch versus trying to force something creatively. Yeah, 100%. And I'm not like, but then eventually you bump into deadlines, right? If you're writing an article, your editor probably has some kind of deadline for you. Like they're going to print the newspaper at some point. And when you're on a deadline, you don't have an idea. I'm not sure exactly what to do in that situation. It cannot be muscled, though perhaps it can be willed. So what's the difference between muscling to boundless curiosity and willing it? I guess for me, when I'm in that situation, I will it by stepping away and going for a walk. For example, Randy says some people are good at brute forcing though, but I guess that's not being creative. That's a great question. I really wonder what the author would say to that. Because in in last week, the habits section, he talked about just show up and do it. Tell yourself to just write the words that come out for writing, right? I feel like saying it's a balance is a bit of a cop out. I really wonder what he would say. Because choosing to show up is it's part of the work, right? Like going back to the fishing analogy where the in his analogy the fisherman is present and throwing out a line, being open to catching a fish, but he doesn't control the fish, they don't control the fish, they just happen to do their best. Go where the ideas are. Took says, hello, do you try to learn some machine learning AI stuffs? No, I do. No, I'm not doing that right now. Randy Contract says, yeah, he is talking about good ideas versus getting stuff done, right? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'm actually not honestly clear where the boundary is here. Yeah, because I guess there's like generating the ideas of like I'm gonna go point my camera at the sky, see what happens. But I can't will the sky to be extra pretty that day. I mean, it's been rainy a lot of these weekends here in the city. But then like sitting down with it and making sure that I edit the clips together and export them, I guess that's part of the habit. The Final Cut Pro is going to take half an hour to export this, so get started early. Randy says, I've dealt with managers who just want results, but there's no room for creativity with that. Yeah, exactly. I kind of wonder what fisher people deal with, since they can't necessarily control the fish, but their manager or whatever on the dock is saying, why did you only bring in 99 fish today instead of 100 or something? I wonder what that's like. That sounds frustrating. Yeah, I do like to say that it's not like, at least with coding, it's not like making a cheeseburger where it's very well very well understood process of grilling the meat, toasting the bun, etc., and then you get a burger. Uh, Especially like for a client, it's more of a partnership of ideas. At least with the clients I've had the most fun with. Yeah, I'm kind of struggling to understand the boundary here. Maybe we'll come back to it. Let's move on a little bit though. So here, in the sort of the second half of the chapter, he talks about evaluating seeds. Um, and this part is particularly inspiring for me because I have so many ideas of things that I could do and improve with my projects. Um, and he's where does he say it? He says, you don't know yet which seeds are going to be interesting or not, and don't cross them off too quickly. Like, bro, I don't have that problem. I have my list is way too full. My list is so full I can't even add things to it. So I guess the recommendation he's making there is accumulate several weeks or months worth of ideas, and then choose which of them to focus on. And I guess that's helpful in a way because if I select 3 projects, I feel like I'm saying no to the others. But that's not necessarily the case. I mean, they're still there. They're still there in my little notebook of ideas. I can come back to them later, But if I do want to bring something to completion, I do need to focus. Maybe I need time for generating ideas and time for focusing on current projects. Because I also want to be creative in bringing the project to completion. I don't want to like just start at point A and have it completely mapped out already. But with like TikToks, I found that like as soon as I have an idea, I make it and then it's out there. And that also feels really good, like kind of a zero friction approach too. Randy says, I guess not all of our seeds will grow and produce fruit, so collect a lot of them hoping some do. Yeah, exactly. Like this used to be a strictly coding stream, and that was okay. But I guess taking some time to focus on the readings and adding some scenery to them, those ideas like really blossomed. And I've met more people doing this because I'm also still doing the live coding too now. Yeah, I've certainly had a lot of false starts with some of my projects. But the initial seed was still there. The initial problem was still there that needed to get resolved. So I was able to try again later a different way. Tuke says, do you see AI taking software developer jobs in the future? I don't know. I hope not. I feel like CEOs might be easier to replace with AI since it's just kind of making the top level decisions. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'm trying to like make a schedule in light of like last week's habits, and I definitely want to leave time in between to kind of spontaneously like tell a story on TikTok or on LinkedIn or on my blog. If I make the time too tight, these serendipitous little posts won't have room to come out, and I definitely want to allow for that. I know that like with writing songs, if you write 20 songs and you pick 10 for the album, then they'll at least be better than the other 10. And with making decisions, I've heard like make sure you have 3 options. Then at least you'll know that the decision that you go with is better than at least 2 other things. And that's also helpful to because sometimes that third option isn't always obvious right away, and taking time to come up with a third option helps see another way of looking at the problem. Oh yeah, so this this part about making assumptions about ourselves also really spoke to me. When we make assumptions about what seeds won't work or what may not fit with what we believe to be artistic identity, yeah, like I've always told myself, like I'm not gonna do video. I need to say no to something, and I guess at some point in the last year or 3, I said yes to video, and now I'm showing my face on video on YouTube, on TikTok, on Twitch. I'm showing scenery. Yeah, a lot has come out of that. As we were talking about last week, like I'm still saying no to painting because I gotta say no to something, otherwise nothing nothing will get done, right? I'm pausing on music. I still have all my guitars and stuff, but I'm pausing on music for now. I think it'll come back at some point. I guess maybe some seeds can go dormant. This is this is the mic I bought when I was I don't know, how old was I, like 16 or something? And I used it in college, and now I'm using it again for Twitch. um, so the seed of this microphone is definitely dormant for a while. Sometimes he writes, the purpose of a seed is to propel us in a completely new direction. Along the way, it may morph into something hardly resembling its original form, may become our finest work yet. This is so true. As we bump into new ideas, as folks react to our ideas and say what they see, like for the Subway app, it wasn't my idea to make the official map tappable. I thought that was going to be too difficult. I was using Apple Maps because that comes with iOS, and my wife was saying that that sucks. use the official map. And I put in the work, and that's what people love. People love using the official map to be able to tap on to see when the train is coming in New York City. Randy says, the concept of seed are interesting because I also think of seeds as something we plant and hopefully reap from. But I think in this chapter, a seed is just an idea. Yeah, he kind of gives some examples earlier. Does this loop through? It does. Okay. Yeah, if you get a little melody in your head, you might turn that into a song. If you get a little beat in your head, you might turn that into a song. If you think of like a funny little joke, you can write that down and turn that into like a longer piece. For something you hold in your hand, material choice or function. Yeah, it's definitely a kind of a loose concept in this chapter at any rate. Yeah, because he used the word seeds as something that you plant, but then later talks about ideas as fish that you hope jump on your hook, right? Because I think, yeah, if you have like 3 or 4 seeds and you kind of group them together, say these 4 seeds go together, like now maybe you have a paragraph, and then you add 4 more seeds and you say, oh, now I have a whole article. Or you just have those 4 seeds and you kind of do work them this way and that, and it grows into an article. Tuke says, I'm a telecom engineer, was working day and night since catching COVID in 2020. I'm sick at home and capable of working, watching Twitch videos of people coding, so my advice is to enjoy life to the maximum. Oh, dude, I'm so sorry to hear. Thanks so much for stopping by and sharing that. Yeah, I think you're right. Life does change on a dime sometimes, and enjoy what we have while we can. Randy says, I'm trying to translate his world music to ours programming. I think the concepts are the same. Yeah, I think especially his little paragraph on business of like an inconvenience, a need, or a tech advancement or interest. Like these all seem like really good starts of an app. Like I'm interested in the subway. Society needs a better subway app, or at least another one. And it's inconvenient to get the train times quickly. I guess those were 3 seeds that he kind of lists here. Oh, and I guess the technological advancement of the iPhone. iPhone apps are still, I guess, relatively new in the grand scheme of the universe. Put all those seeds together and kind of kept working the ground, kept turning it over, like a cow chewing its grass. And eventually an app came out. Tuke says, "No worry, in the end, we can't know what would happen, so live the moment at that was thinking day and night of 4G and 5G network optimization and let my private life aside. No worry, in the end, we can't know what would happen. So live the moment at that. Live the moment at that was thinking day and night of 4G and 5G network optimization." I think it sounds like what you're saying is making time for the things that you care about. Which is certainly in line with what the author is talking about. It's making time to appreciate these things that you're noticing that no one else is, or maybe other people are too, but you're noticing them and you can appreciate that. And then he kind of closes out the chapter saying, "It's helpful to think of the work as bigger than us, to cultivate a sense of awe and wonder at what's possible, and recognize that this productivity is not generated by our hand alone." Oh, Randy says, "Seeds seem async to me." Yeah, definitely. As I know it's kind of a loose term, but I've definitely, like I was saying with the microphone, like some seeds kind of come and go. Some ideas I had to try 4 times before it came into something more productive. Other ideas have just kind of fallen off and have kind of let go of them. Hopefully one day they'll come back. Like I think when I started the stream, I was making a kind of a journaling app, and I haven't worked on that in a while. Mostly using Obsidian now for that, so I kind of have the need mostly met. I'm kind of curious what you mean though about async versus sync with seeds. Oh, cool. Randy says, "I've been using Obsidian as well for journaling. Also, I see Apple's working on a journaling app as well." Right on. Yeah, I organize a lot of stuff in Obsidian. um, yeah, I wanted to close with this last paragraph here of cultivating a sense of awe and wonder at what's possible. I think my journey is particularly interesting as I've grown so much in the past 10 years, in the past 20 years of not being able to appreciate myself at all, and really seeing some of the cool things that I'm able to do and some of the cool things that are still coming out and how to improve that process. Um, if you told me about this 20 years ago, I would definitely not have believed you. I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited that you all are here. Thanks for sharing these thoughts on creativity with me. And we're going to switch over to some live coding. But first, take a little bit of a break. Maybe like 10 minutes, and we'll do some live coding. Oh, we got a little bit more in the chat. Where's my face? Randy says, I guess the seed or idea comes randomly, so we can't plan it out like in a synchronous manner. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can be open to the idea. You can be like from, I don't know, 10 o'clock to 10:15, I'm going to meditate. I'm going to be open to ideas. Or you could go on a walk and say, I'm going to be open to letting my mind wander. Or you could kind of do it for free. Like I'm going to dream when I sleep, and when I wake up, I'm going to write it down and see if there's anything interesting. Yeah, I guess what he called seeds in this chapter, he's called like source earlier in the book, of kind of just messages from the universe, or messages from your inner soul, or messages from like society at large. Like noticing it and kind of internalizing it. Randy says, it's a deep concept for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that's what this last line means. Like it's not generated by our hand alone. Like chat is certainly helping out on this stream. The beautiful architecture of New York City and the sky is helping out on this stream. We got Apple Music helping out on this stream. I'm just a small part of this whole Living Creative Act project. Randy says, so we are all seeds of the same garden. Maybe? I'm not sure I follow you there. I guess that makes me, I mean, that's very visual. I picture all of us kind of with our feet stuck in the ground in a backyard somewhere. I mean, I guess in like the civil rights movement, people I know felt this more literally, where they knew that their body was going to endure pain for speaking up about what's right, and they were okay with that. They literally felt like they were planting their body as a seed in the ground so that other people might enjoy freedom in a more full way. Randy says, I may have jumped the shark with that one. Yeah, this is definitely a judgment-free zone at the moment. This is the definitely the ideas stage, or the seed stage during this stream. Maybe that sticks, maybe that doesn't. We'll see. I think something I just noticed about some of the words that he used is he says that time time is the thing that says what's the best seed. He doesn't say ourselves. He doesn't say our peers. He doesn't say the government. He doesn't say. He just says time. And especially on like social media, it's very, very, very easy to just focus on likes or views or subscriptions or whatever and be like, that's that's how I know what I'm doing is good or bad. If I got 0 likes, I know it's bad. Uh, there's definitely plenty of good stuff out there that has 0 likes, and that's certainly a step in everyone's journey. Unless you're already famous, I don't think you go to straight to 1,000 likes. I don't know. I'm sure it's happened to somebody. Time or seasons? Randy says, I'm not sure what he meant by time. Yeah, I'm kind of confused too. I think he's kind of alluding to like 3 chapters ago where he talks about patience of just like if you want the seed to be fully formed when you plant it, that's you just gotta wait. You kind of gotta wait to see what this grows into, or it might not even grow. Um, it's not in our control necessarily. Yeah, exactly. Randy says, does it grow into fruit or a weed? Let's see, what's something I planted that turned into a weed? I guess what is a weed? Something that stifles the more productive stuff, the more interesting stuff. I guess what comes to mind is when I was playing World of Warcraft like all the time. That definitely stifled some more productive things. But also, is that okay to just be like for these 3 years, I'm just gonna play World of Warcraft and I'm gonna be okay with that. Just kind of take a break. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. Like, I mean, weeds happen. Eventually, I sorted it out. I don't want to play WoW anymore. It's been long enough that they offer like, oh, come back for a free month or a free whatever. And I did that once, and I didn't like it. I went too far down the rabbit hole in a free week. I'm like, oh, this is still not good for me. It's good for other people. I'm not going to say it's bad for everyone, um, or anything. Just very very clear about this. Bad for me. Uh, Randy says, yeah, I guess weeds get in the way of the fruit. Cactus, hey, how's it going? Cactus says, I'm late. Yeah, we got a bit of a late start at 2:30 today. Um, and we're kind of mostly just wrapping up here. I guess we could try to give like a quick summary. Um, I guess this section was on seeds of like he talks about going fishing and you kind of wait for the fish to jump on your fish hook and maybe you get something and maybe you don't and you can't really force it. Yeah, I guess right when you bumped in, we were talking about time, where he says like you don't know if your seeds are going to be good or not when you plant them. You have to wait to see if they take root, and they might not, or they might turn into a weed. I think some cactuses bear fruit, right? Isn't it like nopales? It's a common name for a kind of a cacti, referred to as English as prickly pear. Oh, it's just called pear. It doesn't have a pear on it. Oh, but it does have buds. It has flowers. Yeah, so I was sharing about sometimes where I planted a seed and it turned out to be a weed. And for me, that was World of Warcraft. Not saying it's bad for everyone, but it was bad for me. A seed that I planted that turned out pretty good was, I mean, I would say this stream. The stream is still budding, still a young little stream, but it seems to be growing stronger, growing more fun for sure. Growing longer too. I feel like the first couple episodes of season 4 were like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and now we're bumping on an hour. I think last week was 45 minutes too. Sorry, what's the sorry? I don't. Yeah, so going back to the quick summary, waiting for seeds to arrive. I've made it live longer. No, it's all good stuff. I'm having a blast. Going back to the quick summary, uh, if you have a vision for a seed before it grows, like it might turn into that, it might not. So he recommends gathering a bunch of seeds over time and pick a few after you've gathered a whole bunch, and then do them. I guess going back to last week of he's recommending get a bunch of seeds and then do them and then do it again. Yeah, so that's the quick summary. I do want to hop over to some live coding. So I'm going to take a little bit of a break, let's say 12 minutes. Cactus says topic for post reading. I may have asked before, but don't recall. Is iOS dev worth starting in 2023, 2024? Struggling with deciding a new path in tech or life? Well, I guess in light of this chapter, the seeds chapter, you could start planting the seed of learning iOS or looking for an iOS job or whatever stage you're at, and see what happens. I guess he says the author says don't judge too quickly about what won't work or what might not fit. If it's interesting to you, why not? Why not plant the seed? Uh, and I guess the other thing that he says in this chapter is gather a bunch of seeds and then pick one. Do you have 3 things that you're choosing between? Do you have 10 things you're choosing between, or is it just yes or no on iOS? Um, in my experience, yes or no big life decisions are not as are difficult for me. Choosing between 3 things, that makes a little bit more sense to me. My brain can process that a little bit better. Randy says some would say go with React Native or something multi-platform, but I don't feel like that's the most creative path. Yeah, at some point I might need to learn React Native, but that hasn't quite happened yet. Cactus writes, cybersecurity, iOS, maybe design type stuff, but there doesn't seem to be much money in that. Yeah, money. Money's a good one, I guess. Yeah, I try not to give career advice, especially not live. um, Stupid money, says Randy, always confuses the issue. Yeah, I guess that's the culture that we live in at the moment. And in order to deserve healthcare and food, our society says you need to have money. Uh, no matter what, no matter how you got it, you need to have money if you want healthcare and food. And we can disagree or try to change it. And I guess that's the current rules at large. Yeah, reality, I guess, says Randy. Yeah, I struggle with calling money a real thing, though. I mean, it's real in the sense that the society we live in here in America demands that we have money. But is money really real, though? Because they just print more when they want to. It feels very fake. Cactus says, money for my time is a decent deciding factor and remote capability, as I've been off work since February 20 and have to take care of a wife, health issues, and farm. Yeah, I guess iOS and cybersecurity and design stuff, those would all be remote, or definitely possibility to be remote. Um, More remote than a farm, I guess, where you kind of have to be fairly close to the farm. Yeah, for sure. Randy says, sorry to hear that, Cactus, but you got to do what's best for your family. Yeah. Yeah, I hope your wife health issues get better. That's no fun at all. Cactus says, I guess I need to peruse the full Q ideas section and try learning some stuff to start. Cactus says, thanks. It's no fun, but we power through. Right on. Yeah, I have an ideas section in the subscriber section of my Discord, because I have so many ideas and I can't get through all of them. I just post a bunch of ideas in there. Subscribers are totally free to do whatever they want with them as part of thank you for the support. And if you subscribe on Twitch and link your Twitch account and Discord, you get the access to the subscriber only Discord stuff. That's what he's talking about there. Yeah, I guess that's the advice from this chapter on your situation. Thanks for sharing that, and I think we're all excited to see where you go next. Yeah, I don't have oh, there's a note that I made on this section that I didn't say yet. Cactus says, thanks for your break. Don't forget your break. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, one more comment and then I'll take a break and do live coding. One drawback of having so many ideas and not being as disciplined about them as I could be is documentation. A lot of my projects could have better examples and better documentation, and always working on something new and exciting means the projects don't get fully brought out to their full to the vision that I have for them. I do want my projects to have better documentation, for example. Cool, yeah. So I'm gonna take a little break and we'll do some live coding. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you talking about this stuff with me. Let's say 12 minutes, so 3:40. Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for sticking around. So we just finished the podcast portion of the stream, if you will. And now we're swapping over to the live coding section. So for today, I wanted to pull back the curtain just a little bit on how the stream gets made, and I wanted to improve something about it. Let's see. Maybe OBS is a little distracting at the moment. Cactus says, welcome back. Yeah, that was one of the first emojis I made for this stream. Let's see. So, yeah, currently I make the slides by hand. So I use Pixelmator, and I make a bunch of PNGs. So you can see this is the text for this stream. It has a transparent background, but I guess that's not coming through right now. And I feel like this should be able to be made like with a website or something. OBS does have a browser source, so I'm hoping to make a little website that will kind of show the text in the background to save me some time each week. I usually use my iPhone's OCR, optical character recognition, but I guess this week I typed it in manually, and that was actually a lot of fun. But then typing it in manually and then also making the slides by hand, that was a little annoying, especially if I, because I keep track of all the text. So if I make a mistake, I have to update it in Pixelmator and then re-export. It's a lot. Be able to just, if I make a mistake, just update the text. Yeah, so I'm thinking about a browser source in OBS. I used the browser source earlier when I had a countdown, and I need to bring back the countdown, but I don't have much. I don't have many browser sources yet, so this is still kind of new territory for me. And then we could do something in Astro or Svelte or maybe React. I'm not sure yet. I really like Astro. It's a static site generator that I use for fullqueuedeveloper.com. And it's fantastic. But this is something that doesn't necessarily need to be static. But I am very familiar with Astro. So I might just kind of go with Astro. Because they also have a new feature called page transitions. Which is something that I think would be pretty cool to get the transitions between the slides. Cactus says, browser sources are the best tool. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've only used them once for a timer, and that could have been improved a lot. I kind of stopped using it. Okay, so it's just kind of let's kind of go through the get started. Then everyone will be on the same page. npm create Astro latest. Sure. Which directory should we just do dot? Would you like to sure. Cactus says, I've used for timer, spinning wheel, anything overlay related. I'm sure there's other things I've used it on. Oh, right on. Yeah, currently I use the slide. I guess I can show it. If I show it though, you won't be able to see. Yeah, I can't. I can't show it. To show how it works, like it like switches the screen share. But I guess it's a slideshow in OBS. So I'm like clicking through in OBS. Do you plan to write TypeScript? I sure do. Sure. Wait, I'm on NPM 10? Is that like around like 18 or something? Or is that Node? Okay, I'm on a more version of Node. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so let's see what they gave us. Yeah, so let's npm start. Hop on over to localhost. 4321. Oh, it just links to to their stuff. That's cool. So they gave us some components. Let's see. I guess I should think about where these windows are. Let's put the problem on the left-hand side. Let's put the web browser maybe here, the command line maybe here, and then I guess the editor here. That's way too far to the left for me. I think it's just like going to swap everything. Oops, did not mean to do that. What did that even do? It moved it to my desktop. Okay, that's fantastic. This needs just a bit more room. Maybe just put those all on one line. There we go. Okay. Because it moved, I'm just going to reopen it. Okay, looks like we're back to somewhat normal. npm start. Okay, and we're back. Yeah, so I guess I'm thinking we'll have like a directory of markdown files. So what's this? This is season 4, episode 15. 15 episodes, everybody. It was called seeds. And oh, I guess this wants to be a dot markdown. And then what? I guess we can copy paste the text in. I've got that over here somewhere. And see, here's a typo that I made that I wasn't able to fix in time. And I also have a little bit of front matter. We can say something like page start was 143, page end was 146. Okay, so if we go to that page, what does it look like? S4E15. Did that render? Oh yeah, I put paragraph tags in. Okay, so it does recognize it as Markdown. So I guess what do we need to do next? I guess maybe hook it up into OBS to just see what it looks like in OBS too, I guess. So I say make a new browser source and say this is book text Astro. And we say this is local host 54. What was it? It's 4321. 4321. Oh, I can show this. 4321 slash S4E15. Oh, because I misspelled 15. I wrote a 4. Cool, and the background's already, let's see, the background is already transparent. That's fantastic. Okay. Not sure where to put this, so let's hide it for now. So I guess we need the font. We need I guess the different sections, really. So I think I want to wrap this inside of a layout. To kind of generate different pages from it. I guess I don't know if Astro lets me split each paragraph into a separate page. So that might take a little bit of creativity. Let's see, I guess we don't need this subtitle. I guess we're trying Astro first. And then I guess, can we split Markdown by paragraph? Because if we can do that, we can make a slide for each one. So I think to do that, I think that's called a content source in Astro. And the way we do that is a new folder. And then I think we say something like slug.astro and possibly with some dots. Is that true? Oh yeah, what's really cool is we can sort of make sure that we have all of the right properties. Oh, this has to go into a collection. I guess we'll just call this the creative act, I guess. Yeah, something like that. And then it starts to do must be nested. Oh, okay, we already got a warning for that. Okay, so now I think we can make a config.ts. And let's go ahead and copy paste this over. Title doesn't, I guess we could have a pub date. Don't need a description. We know who the author is. Don't need an image. Randy says, I've read your articles about your keyboard adventures. Oh, sweet. And as I hear you type, I keep thinking about them. Thanks. That's another website that I made in Astro. Unsupported file types found. Prefix with an underscore to ignore. Yes, Astro is a JavaScript library. Astro.build. I've had a lot of fun with Astro even before 1.0, and it just hit 3 point something. So watching this grow has been fantastic. You get the niceties of JSX for doing your layouts and stuff, for doing component composition for a static site, and that's something that Jekyll doesn't do, Hugo doesn't do. I guess Gatsby might do since it's based on React. Yeah, I'm really happy with the direction of Astro. Cactuses just have AI build it all for you. I mean, I think about that a lot, right? This AI stuff. And because we had the chapter on intention pretty early on, I think, in the book. I mean, he tells that story about the guy who was like getting water from a well by hand, and the guy and somebody comes up to him and says, if you use a machine, you'll get the water faster. And the guy says, there's no way the water would taste as good. Which sounds pretty ridiculous. I think, but I think it helps highlight that like how you do it. If how you do it is important to you, that's okay. If you like how you do it, that's okay. I also think of the that story also makes me think of the the American folk tale about that guy who was trying to race a locomotive or something. John Bunyan, or I forget I forget the actual story. Um, I mean, like if you if you look at the back of a bag of chips, it talk about how it's all handmade for like the fancy chips. I mean, some people seem to care about how it's made, and will pay funny prices if you do funny things. There's an audience for everything, right? Some people will like AI made stuff, and other people won't. Um, yeah, just some of my random thoughts on AI there. Let's see, we don't need tags. So what's this unsupported file types found? I know that Markdown is a supported file type. What if we call this chapters? Oh, there we go. That gets rid of the warning. Yeah, it seems to not like capitals that much. I worked around it before, but we'll just go with what they're suggesting for now. This is going to be like the only thing in here. Oh, we got the error again. Oh, because I didn't, yeah, I didn't do this page yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and, oh, does this say how to do it? Oh, it doesn't say exactly how, but it does say what to look for. This tutorial is not telling me what a different tutorial told me of how to do this. Oh, here it is. This is what I was looking for. Found it. So I guess pages is a special directory, and so is content in Astro. And so when a file is named like this, Astro with the square brackets, Astro will look for a get static paths function in there. And so in here, we're going to say all the things that it should render. It's really neat, actually. So let's import. And it says to do these two things. Let's go ahead and do that. Also, the collection is chapters. Oh, because title and pub date are required, but they're not there. See, this is what's so cool about specifying like what needs to be there. So we're getting the error, title is required, and pub date is required. So we can say title is seeds, and we can say pub date would be today's episode, 2023, 10/22. Pub date, but I have pub date. Cool. So just capitalize the D. There we go. So the warning is a get statics path route pattern was matched, but no matching static path was found for requested path S4E15. Yeah, should these be by episode or by chapter name or by date or just by page number or by chapter? I think that should be basically episode based, since sometimes the chapters are kind of long and I split them in half. Oh, and I also want to make sure I have a page start and page end in there. And I guess I'll keep them camel case like they're doing here. I think this is numeric. Numeric is not a function. Is it number then? Randy says, how are you making these all before? Yeah, kind of by hand. Let me get it out for you real quick. Episodes. So I was using PXD is Pixelmator. Maybe turn these into a list. And then I export them as a PNG. And then in OBS, I have a slideshow of still images. And they're allowed to be transparent, but the transparency is not coming through now. So you can see all of the images from today. Cool, so it looks like it's happy again. Oh, look at this error. Front matter does not match page start and page end. So let's go ahead and keep that camel case. Randy says, oh, okay, I guess this is a sign of a programmer, the need to automate all the things. Oh, for sure. I've gotten this far, though, with this approach. I just never had time to sit down and automate this. And there's a whole bunch of things we could be working on stream right now too. And I guess this is what, I don't want to say random, but this is what we're doing today. Okay, so we have a possible match. Oh, is it because it's capitalized? Is this case sensitive? If I make this lowercase, well, I don't see anything. Oh, right. So we need to say content. There we go. Now it's here. Okay, but I want to split these in paragraphs. So I don't necessarily want to render it directly. Certain entry dot. Yeah, what happens if I say entry? Just look at the entry. Or let's console.log the entry. Like, what is on here? This is not writing to console out like I've done this before to like look at stuff. Maybe if I if I build it, npm run build. Yeah, there we go. Now we see the inside of it. Yeah, so there's the body. How do I split the body by paragraph? There's got to be something that does that. Or do I have to do that on my own by hand, like make a bunch of files? That sounds pretty tedious. Because I guess it is nice to just kind of see all the text like this and be able to kind of read through it. That feels good. Having each of these in their own little file, that sounds pretty terrible. Oh, can't connect the server. Let's start the dev server again. If I make this capital, it doesn't seem to match. So I think we have to say slug.to uppercase, is it? What is it in JavaScript? To locale uppercase. Okay. Oh, is it just this C needs to be uppercased? Oh, there we go. Ew, gross. It put in these weird things. We call this a seed phase weird. It's just a single quote. Chill out. Randy says, how did you learn iOS and Swift stuff? Was there a learning path you went on? I feel like this question is asking like what would I recommend someone to do, and that I have no idea. Would I recommend doing what I do? Certainly not. I don't think it's optimized or anything at all. I follow my curiosity like anyone else. I guess when Apple announced Swift, I got excited right away. I had a really good feeling about it, and so far so good. I really like how Swift has been developing. I really like the server side parts. How did you learn? Yeah, I when you I have an idea and then I figure out how to do it. Learning for the sake of learning, because I might need something one day, doesn't really work so well for me. Like with Final Cut Pro for editing videos, like Final Cut Pro you can do so much with, right? But you know, I want to create a little smooth transition between two things, so I look up how to do that. I look up how to make the camera pan across a scenery video so that I can make a nice vertical TikTok. I figured out how to do that. So like I've picked up a few things. I have not learned Final Cut Pro, and I feel the same about iOS, really. There's so much about iOS, and I've been doing it for so long, so I guess I would say I don't even know, like there's really so much in iOS, including stuff I haven't done. I follow my curiosity. Stack Overflow, blogs, forums. The Randy construct says, sorry, I am just curious. Oh, of course. I appreciate the question. I just also need to give a disclaimer on on it because I do feel a little bit of an oddball about it. Randy Contract says, I'm working through Paul Hudson's Hacking with Swift. Oh yeah, that's a great resource. That's I learn a lot of stuff on there also. Oh, he does classes. I didn't know he did classes. That makes sense. So anyway, start of the sentence. I'm working through Paul Hudson's classes for Hacking with Swift, but I know there are others. I'm just curious how other people learn things. I know we are all different. Oh, for sure. Yeah, sometimes I try to watch videos of like Tunesdev on YouTube. Like he seems like a nice guy, and I sometimes try to watch a video, but it does seem a little basic. Like I know this already. WWDC videos, but then the videos don't always match what gets released, and then they fix bugs or update stuff. So those aren't always the best. And their examples are sometimes a little incomplete, especially with like Swift macros. I had to figure out a lot of that by reading source code, despite there being several WWDC sessions about it this year, and despite it being the first thing that they mentioned at the developer keynote. Okay, so we could work on styling this, or we could work on splitting these into different sections. And I guess that kind of that's going to kind of determine how we structure our data. So I guess I'm kind of curious to do that. I'm a little disappointed that we're getting weird stuff in here though. Like this is just a quote mark. I don't understand why it's doing that. Oh, good. I'm glad that made sense. I was not sure if it would or not. So I haven't had this problem on my other Markdown websites. Like I have a quote mark on here somewhere, right? Yeah, I have single quotes in here. So what's different? Oh, I guess I know I'm using a specific. I think I'm using remark for Markdown here, where this is whatever the default is. So I guess that's one thing to consider. Let me look at the code. Let's see, where's my package JSON? Using their Markdown component. I think I'm actually not using this anymore. Is it markdown.it? Where's the thing I did most recently? Oh, that was on a different website. Okay. Yeah, though I really like Astro. They keep changing how they do Markdown though, which is a little annoying. I kind of get the reasoning each time, so I'm not too upset about it. But it's just like I just want it to work. Isn't Markdown a standard? Um, yeah, and they keep changing how they like which components they use for it for different reasons, which is fine. It's just like, and it still works. It's just I kind of have to relearn it each time. Cactus says, I've heard great things about Angela Yu's iOS course, but it's dated now. Oh, right on. Yeah, that's something I thought of doing because it seems like, oh, that's a way to like make money being a personality is to put out a course. I don't know. I don't think it's for me though, because like stuff goes out of date so fast, and I follow my own curiosity, and that's kind of what the live coding portion of the stream is about. Like I'm kind of curious, how would I automate making these slides? Is it possible? I think it is. Let's see how it goes. Is my curiosity interesting to other people? I don't know for sure either way. I'm sure some stuff is boring and some stuff is interesting. But what I can guarantee is that I think it's interesting. Yeah, this is what I was doing on for my resume. I was using little snippets of Markdown in my resume. So I was using this section here. I kind of wonder if this will let me get the paragraphs out. Randy says, you think it's interesting and that is what matters. That's what the book is saying. You have to follow what's interesting to you. That's what makes you different than everybody else. So I guess if I look up this parser, I can see that from this documentation if it supports splitting by paragraph. If it doesn't, it's not so bad. We'll just have like 20 different paragraphs, I guess. It'll be season 4, episode 15, paragraph 12, I guess. Built for speed. Does not sanitize. Okay, that's all neither here nor there. Inline markdown highlighting workers, tools, usage maybe? List of tools using marked. The only completely secure system is the one that doesn't exist in the first place. Having said that, We take security very seriously. You also have direct access to the lexer and parser if you so desire, except they have to be full options objects. They don't get merged with current or default options. Do I really want to? This could get funky. Type paragraph. So I guess let's see what it says, right? Let's maybe we don't need this. Let's see what it decides it's paragraphs. Because I guess there's also this thing. This is where there's like a paragraph, like a section break in the book. Haha, shrug. Haha, shrug. That's hilarious. Okay, so let's try this out. So here, so instead of logging the entry, I know it's the entry.body. So there's the HTML and there's the tokens. Which one are we interested in? Oh, here's the HTML. So I guess the tokens is what we're interested in. And this is going to be entry.body. And then we'll need to import marked. All right, we only got the output when we ran the manual build, so let's do that. Oh, I guess we need to add it to our imports. Installation. Okay, so we have some paragraphs. So I guess the idea is we're going to have a bunch of slides and each one is going to show a paragraph. So I guess that's a for loop, right? So something like const paragraphs is tokens dot. Do we have filter in JavaScript? JavaScript filter array. We do. Token dot type. Now, how many equal signs do we need in JavaScript? Let's start with 3. And I think we can also just get the text off of these. Duke says, oh, some JavaScript. Where is Swift? I still write Swift. Just doing a little JavaScript today. All the equal signs. Token dot, let's try text. Okay, so we have our splits, it looks like. What happens if I yeah, I guess I just need to follow my curiosity a little bit. So I took out the header. So I put that header back in, like, what is that called? And we had this one here was like a double space. So this is like section 2. I'm not sure what to do with the multiple sections in the chapters. I've just kind of glossed over them. Just kind of treated it all as one big chapter, and I'm not sure how. Maybe there's something there we can do, but I don't know yet. So type paragraph, type space, paragraph space, paragraph space, paragraph. Oh, we have a heading. Heading depth 2. Yeah, I think either way, we just want the paragraphs for what we're doing now. That's cool to see. What a fun little library. Okay, so going back, so we have our paragraphs. Would there be anything to render in here? No, this is just text. There's no links. Oh, sometimes he does make things italic or bold. So I do need to render it in that case. Let's get an example going. Just put it right at the top. Tuke says, what is the project? A web app? Oh, is it hiding? I guess for the reading section of the stream, I've been making the slides by hand. And that gets a little tedious, especially if I make a mistake. I have to go back and edit the image and then re-import it into OBS. Well, OBS is actually pretty good at noticing changes to files. That's not the problem. It's having to re-export, make the edit and re-export and all that stuff. Here's the images again from the reading. And I guess I'm using Pixelmator Pro to make the images. So it's a lot of copy pasting, which is fine. Just I think we can do better, and we're exploring that. So far, it's looking promising. We were able to split the paragraphs. I guess we could possibly re-render this. So I guess these are the paragraph texts. We could then try to render it. Where's the markdown thing? Maybe under usage. Not from the CLI. Not from the browser. Oh. Rendered. paragraphs. So this will, I guess we'll map through again. Marked.parse text. Okay, so we got the p tags. That's great. Oh no, we got. Oh no, that should be fine. That looks fine. Now, did we get a bold tag? We got an M tag. Okay, I think we can style that. I think we can work with that. Tukes asks, you never worked on a machine learning AI project? I was about to a few times, and then the project got canceled, so turns out I never really did. Let's see. So now we have the inner HTML for the slides. We need to maybe make this bigger. Yes. We need to style, render slides, and transition between slides. Tuke says, what I mean, like creating your own model, not just Core ML. Yeah, I was going to be on a project and ended up not happening. So I haven't yet. So then if we say rendered, I guess we want to like print these out. Guess this is going to be HTML. I'm going to have like some kind of like slide component. Yeah, so let's go ahead and define this. So this can be an Astro component. And then we can import it from here. We can say, let's see, all the imports come first. Import slide and what's the path to it? / components / slide.astro. And then over here inside of slide, how do we get the inner HTML? I guess what we actually want to do is, let's close this. think we want to pass it in like this. And perhaps even like a slide number would be cool too. Yeah, we can get to that in a moment. What's it upset about here? Yeah, there we go. It's a lot less upset now. And then coming back to Astro, let's look at the... Oh, we can just look at what they do here. Is it body? Is that what it is? Let's see, on index they use... let's see how they use card. Oh, they pass in body directly. That's fine. Half dozen of one, 6 dozen of the other. I'll just print some stuff out just so we can see that it's coming through, I guess. Was it total slide count? .paragraphs dot length. Yeah, let's just set it to 1 for now for all of them. Just want to kind of see things coming through. Not getting a whole lot. Not getting a whole lot at all. Okay. Oh, it crashed. What was the error? Unable to render slide because it is undefined. No, it's right here. Components. This is the HTML section, right? Oh, it crashed yet again. Unable to render slide because undefined. Did you forget to import the component? Or is it possible there is a typo? Slide. Slide. Component slide has no exported member slide. Oh, I don't need the curlies here. Oh, okay. Oops. Let's try it again. Cool, we got some stuff coming on through. Okay. Yeah, so how do we enumerate in JavaScript? Enumerate a list, or I guess an array, JavaScript. Is there a version with map? Oh, index is just the, okay, cool. HTML index. Cool. We definitely going to say index +1. Are we allowed to do that? Nice. How did this get 19 slides? I guess we're not doing the title slide yet. Okay, yeah, I'm curious about this transition between slides. Like styling, I know we'll get it. Not sure if we'll be able to. Kind of want everything to kind of work first before styling it. Otherwise, this project might need to go in a completely different direction. So I'm going by the risks to success first, if you will. And so far, looking good. Transition between slides. So this is something new in Astro. So let's look at the documentation. View transitions. Astro supports opt-in per-page view transitions with just a few lines of code. View transitions update your page content without the browser's normal full-page navigation refresh. Fantastic. That can be added to a single page's head to control page transitions as you navigate away to another page. Oh, so these are cross-page view transitions. They're not in-page transitions, which I guess is what I was kind of optimizing for. Because I think I still want everything kind of all in one file. This is like, I don't want to click through like 15, 19 different files. Having all the text here is a lot nicer to read through as text. Okay, so view transitions is not the thing. Maybe we can do something in good old CSS. Which I guess means we're kind of going towards styling a little bit. Let's see, this needs a little bit more room. Or something. So I guess in OBS browser sources, what kind of interactions are allowed? I guess that's the whatever works there. That's what I let's see. I guess tapping a key would be nice to go previous or next slide. Might have to take a little diversion here. OBS browser source. How to make these interactive. A web browser you can add allows you to perform all kinds of custom layout. Can be added directly to OBS. How to interact. Oh, I don't want to watch a YouTube video on stream. No, this just goes back to here. These people are having problems with it on Mac. Okay, that's not a good sign. Because I guess we can make like a tiny little JavaScript or something to kind of go between the slides. Like maybe have like a slide group component that has a bunch of slides in it. So I guess that would be client-side JavaScript that we need to look up. Because that's not going to be server-side, I guess. In Astro files, you can add client-side JavaScript by adding one or more script tags. Yeah, so I know we can do CSS to do the animations. I guess we still need, I think we still need JavaScript to say which one is the current slide though. So let's sketch something out. Make a new component called slideshow, I guess. Cactus redeems good vibes. Thank you so much, dude. Glad you're having fun. Lurker, hello. Cactus says, sadly, gotta run and feed the horses. Well, tell them hi for me. Thanks so much for stopping by. Yeah, so if I have a script here, I guess each slide could have a ID. Something like that. I feel like I need some kind of front-end framework here. Mostly for the hand-holding. Handle on click. Some UI frameworks use custom syntax for handling events. Astro follows standard HTML more closely and does not use custom syntax for events. You can add event listener to all the buttons. I mean, that's seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, maybe we don't need to do anything too fancy. It looks like we can just do this in, tell the browser to use our AstroHeart class. Interesting. Yeah, so let's try defining a class of slide group. I guess we extend HTML element. Constructor, I guess we call super here. And let current slide equals 1 to start. So what are we going to have? Are we going to have like a next button? Well, we can always move the button somewhere else, I guess. So let's start with a button. Yeah, let's do this for now. Then I guess we find these things. We say const next button equals this dot query selector of button. Hopefully we can put an ID or something on here, but for now, let's just follow the example to get it to work. Add, oh, it crashed. Okay. Have not had that happen in a while. Okay, so we were saying next button dot add event. Oh, I remember. Yeah, so autocomplete doesn't work so well in Nova. One more time without autocomplete. Next button dot add event listener. I know, right? Click. We'll say current slide plus plus. And we'll say current. See, this autocomplete works. Dot text content. That one didn't though. Okay. Ah. Oh, that lost all that work. Oh my god. Didn't I hit save? Current. No autocomplete. Current. Equals current slide dot to string and save. Okay. And then what is this upset about? Object is possibly null. I guess that's true. Okay, so coming back to here, we want to put these inside of a slide group. Oh, I guess I called it slideshow. Okay. Or maybe all that slideshow stuff comes out to here and not into its own. No, it's nice to keep it a little bit separated. Randy says, I gotta run. Thanks for the stream. Good luck with the slides. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Hope you have a great week. Import slideshow, I guess. We can always refactor this later. But I do wonder if we could kind of do something like that. Let's see what's in my paste buffer. Import slide from slide.astro. I guess dot slash. There we go. Const paragraphs. Yeah, something like that. So we can like loop through the paragraphs. Yeah, I guess slide can actually be in charge of rendering it. We just need the text at this point. Yes, this is called paragraphs, we said. And then in slide, we can render it. Maybe we'll call this a div. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so then back here at slideshow. Okay, so we have slide group. We're going to have the slides in there, but not at the moment. Let's npm start. Let's just make sure this part works. Cool, so we can hit a button and things go up and down. That's fantastic. Cool, and if I misspell it, does it stop working? Perfect. Okay, cool. It's kind of what I expected, just it's nice to see. So how do we actually want this to work? Can I add like an on-key listener? Let's see, JavaScript. Use key down. That's on an input. Is there... Can I add it to like the whole window? Oh, looks like we have some functions starting to emerge here of like go to next slide, because I guess I want to test out that. Well, this doesn't have access to current text, huh? Yeah, but then this doesn't have access to this, huh? Okay. Well, let's just duplicate it for now. We don't need to make functions quite yet, I guess. Actually, let's just see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll go back. Okay, it doesn't. I'm not getting key down events, though. An error occurred. Oh, yeah, we need a closing paren there. Okay, so I'm pushing keys and not getting anything. Well, that part still works. Okay, let's turn the browser source back on and see what happens. Oh yeah, let's whoa, I was not expecting that. Because that path matches what we have here. Okay, so there, you can kind of see it. I can't, though. There we go. Now you can kind of see it a little bit better. It's a little small. I'm not going to see if it... let's see. Let's put some styles on this. Okay, there we go. So then how do I interact with the browser in in OBS? So interact. Oh, cool. That's amazing. So if we move other browser away, this little interact thing shows up. And I guess you can kind of see it. It's a little dark. But we're interacting. On key down is still not doing anything for whatever reason. But we can have buttons. I guess I wouldn't want to show the buttons on stream though. So I wonder if there's a way to like hide it outside of the interact thing. Let's see if we can Google some stuff. We can either go down the on key press path, or we can go down the hiding the buttons path. So OBS interact with browser source. Is there some kind of like special class? Choose interact. We really need to have clicked on the browser source, have it selected for any JavaScript macros you have to work. Okay. There's all these YouTube videos. I don't want to watch YouTube right now on stream. I guess that makes sense. All the people that are interested in this are people that make videos or make video content. So I guess it's not surprising. Guess I could always like trim the browser source, perhaps. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Command Z. Can I add like a crop pad? And then crop right, say 200. Yeah, so I could add a little crop. Okay. Okay, this is cool. This is cool. Good job, OBS. Okay, so we'll stick with the buttons for now. So what's next? Actually, so we can make a previous also, but we're going to start kind of going through the slides. Let's make this previous button real quick. I guess we don't have a shared function at the moment. That's fine. Okay, so let's render the slides, and how are we gonna hide or not hide them? I guess with CSS, but like, I guess we could add like a style sheet to the whole document. Is that a thing? Yeah, let's just pass the index in. Yeah, it's called length in JavaScript. Okay. There we go. Now we have it rendered. And we have the little emphasis coming through. That's cool. Okay, this is coming together. And then they have IDs, right? Oh, index, no, what did I call them? Index and total. Yeah, body index total. Body index total. Oh, it's because it crashed. Okay. There we go. So now we gotta do some hiding. Do I need to give these a class? How do I control the class of everything below this? I keep I don't want to loop through every single one. um, Yeah, passing in the index is a little awkward. I feel like I want to say number instead of index and do the +1 outside of here. And that would be, yeah, the number is the index +1. Yeah, the slide shouldn't have to worry about if it's an index or a number. It should just print what it gets. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's too much to have this slide component. So I don't want to have to like reach in. Yeah, let's take a chill on that. So you need to make sure I do this in the right order. Okay, that's not defined. Okay, perfect. Marked is not defined. Okay, we can import it. Body is not defined. Oh, it's called paragraph here. Okay, so now we're back. We're all in one file. This is not used anymore. We can delete it. Yeah, so now I can add styles here, right? Oh, it's display none. Okay, so that hides everything. And then how do I want to add the one that's visible? I really don't want to loop through every single one. Okay, but let's try it though, I guess. Oh, here we go. Here's query selector all. How can I add a style using JavaScript? Maybe I should zero index these slides. Style.display. So this is gonna have to be an if it matches. And it's still having a tough time. I guess this is having a tough time too. Is it because this paragraphs is not really a thing? Unexpected dot. Here we can say paragraphs.count though, right? Expected identifier, but found. Oh, I think this part is not rendered. Yeah, this is just some JavaScript. We don't have rendering here. You'll need to find a way to pass in the total number to this thing. If we do something like that, and then we say from 0 to the total, and is it 3 dots? How do we do ranges in JavaScript? JavaScript range. Oh, it doesn't have one built in? Okay, let's copy paste off the internet. Where's this error? Hey, Cactus, how's it going? Line 19. I don't have a line 19. Expected closing paren, but found element. So if we remove this, it's fine, right? Yeah. Cactus says, good, good. Lucas waiting for horses to finish their dinner. Nice. Alright, so the error is in here somewhere. So I created a range. I want to loop through them. Oh, it needs to be curlies. There we go. Okay, well, either way, that didn't work. Wonder what the total is. It's an easy way to tell. I guess we could just, instead of the current slide, say the total. The total is 0. Okay. Yeah, so that'd be one reason why that's not working. Why is total 0? Okay, so now I've got 19 of them. That's a lot better. So from 0 to 19, Maybe element is nil? Console.log element. Let's see what we get. Inspect element. Null is an object. Or it's null. Okay. So how am I rendering these? These are a div slide with index +1 as the ID. And if I look at the HTML, are they there? They are. There's my slides. Oh, the +1 didn't get rendered. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, do I need backticks for that? There we go. Okay. Okay. So that rendered, that unhid all of them. So we should say if it's the current one, then it's block. Otherwise, it stays none. So if index +1 equals current slide, else display is none. Hey, look at that. We are going places, team. That's awesome. So we need a little bit more styling for sure. We need to loop around. We need to show the first slide. It would be nice to have some kind of reactivity here. Doing this all by hand is definitely a little boring. Oh, and the how do we add keyframes? Build an OBS plugin. That's another idea. Tried to convert it the following way. Get element by ID, animate keyframes. Oh boy. Element dot animate So it looks like this is an array. Say transform translate x is, how big are these things going to be? Let's say 500 pixels. And we can give it some options. Duration is, yeah, let's start with 1,000, see what happens. Iterations 1. Actually, I don't know what the infinity there means. Well, let's see what happens. Not really getting good good animation there. Oh, because I'm spelling transform wrong for starters. Hey, there we go. I guess that's the infinity. Let's try once. Nice. We are going places, team. Look at this. What do we want to happen to the old slide? Actually, I think we want to, if we're going next, we want it to come in from the right, right? Start at 0 and end at minus 1,000. 1,500 was a little much. Let's do a 1,000. Okay, the other one's still disappearing a little too fast. Oh, I see. This needs to go on the inside here. Maybe like that? There we go. Guess the previous one needs to disappear afterwards. see, does that change anything? It kind of comes back in. Okay, well, we're done with the markdown portion for now. See keyframe formats for more information. Oh, it's opacity. Is there a display none animation? So like in iOS, we'd remove it from the view hierarchy after we're done animating it. I guess alternatively, we could actually picture them as slides and really just scroll through them. Okay, so here's a bunch of things that didn't work. What is this person saying actually works? Yeah, I guess because I want to be able to like slide back and forth left and right, right? Yeah, maybe if we start styling it to look more like what we want it to look like, it'll be easier to think about. They put a border around it. And then it comes in along down there. So making me think we should model it as like actually something that's moving around with offsets instead of display none or something like that. Well, it is 6 o'clock. I think I should probably force myself to take a break, even though this is a ton of fun. Vidra's asked, how do you like Astro? I really like Astro. I've made multiple websites in it, and I really like the new content feature that they're using. Yeah, just trying to make a slideshow for the stream. I usually do it in OBS using images, and that's just too much work. So that segment of my stream has lasted long enough that I think it's time to add some automation to it. Vidra says, I love this kind of stuff. It's nice to see. Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'll probably work on this more throughout the week and hopefully in time for the next stream on Sunday. As always, you can check out my website at fullqdeveloper.com. I have links to all the past episodes of the reading, as well as links to my apps on the App Store and my open source projects. And of course, take care of your wrists. I'm very passionate about ergonomic keyboards. Here's a picture of mine. And I will see you next Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. for the reading with some live coding after that, and possibly even before. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and of course, Discord, ! Discord for invite to the Discord. Vidra says, sounds good. Sorry I got here late. Oh, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. Good night, everyone.